Let's just be clear. We're not going to make Canada the 51st state. We'll make it 51 and 52. You make Western Canada, that'll be Republican. Eastern Canada, that'll be Democrat, so you keep the electoral balance there. So many reasons to make this a state.
Hello and welcome to What the Just Happened Today, your essential guide to the daily shock and awe in national politics. I'm Joe Amditis. Let's get to it. It's Tuesday, December 3rd, 2024. Welcome to day 1414. Donald Trump, citing the language Biden used to pardon his son, urged a judge to dismiss his 34 felony convictions for orchestrating an illegal conspiracy to influence the 2016 election by falsifying business records. Trump's attorneys wrote, as President Biden put it yesterday, enough is enough. This case, which should never have been brought, must now be dismissed. They added, Biden asserted that his son was selectively and unfairly prosecuted and treated differently. Raw politics has infected this process and it led to a miscarriage of justice. The filing formally demands that the New York Supreme Court Justice Juan Merchan throw out Trump's criminal case and nullify a unanimous jury's conclusion that Trump committed 34 felonies. Trump's attorneys also argue that his prosecution disrupts the president-elect's transition and threatens the functioning of the federal government. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, meanwhile, suggested postponing Trump's sentencing until after he completes his second term in 2029 in order to balance competing constitutional interests of Trump's conviction and his presidential duties. Moving on, Fox News has avoided reporting on recent allegations of financial mismanagement, sexism, sexual misconduct, and alcohol abuse against Pete Hegseth, Trump's nominee for defense secretary. Hegseth is an Army veteran but has no Pentagon experience, and he worked at Fox News for a decade, and nearly all of the recent mentions of Hegseth on Fox News have been supportive or sympathetic, insulating its conservative audience from two recent reports. One, that Hegseth's own mother accused her son of being an abuser of women who belittles, lies, cheats, sleeps around, and uses women for his own power and ego. Penelope Hegseth sent the 2018 email while Hegseth was divorcing his second wife after having an affair with a Fox News executive producer. The second report is a previously undisclosed whistleblower complaint that says Hegseth was forced out of the two nonprofit advocacy groups that he ran for financial mismanagement, sexual misconduct, and for being intoxicated on the job. At least 10 current and former Fox employees said Hegseth drank in ways that concerned his coworkers. While no Republican senator has outright opposed Hegseth's nomination, he is seen as the most vulnerable among Trump's cabinet picks. Republican senators have voiced support for adhering to traditional vetting and confirmation procedures for Trump's nominees, including Hegseth, though discrepancies remain over requiring FBI background checks. Key figures like John Thune and Roger Wicker acknowledge the historical value of FBI checks, but left room for alternative methods. Trump's transition team, meanwhile, says it had belatedly signed an agreement with the DOJ allowing the FBI to conduct background checks on people that Trump intends to nominate as senior officials in his administration. Meanwhile, Republicans in the Senate are prepared to allow Trump to fire the current FBI Director Christopher Wray before his 10-year term expires and replace Wray with loyalist Kash Patel. Patel has promised to purge the FBI of the deep state, people that he sees as disloyal to Trump. Incoming Majority Leader John Thune said Patel would get a thorough and fair process like all nominees, which includes vetting, confirmation hearing, and one-on-one meetings. Patel served in Trump's first administration as a staffer for the National Security Council, and he was also a senior staffer for Devin Nunes, who repeatedly attempted to discredit the Russia investigation when he was chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. Patel will need nearly every Senate Republican's vote in order to be confirmed. Moving on, Donald Trump joked to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau that Canada should become the 51st U.S. state if it can't handle the economic consequences of Trump's 25% tariff on all goods. During their meeting at Mar-a-Lago, Trudeau told Trump that the new levies would kill Canada's economy, and Trump responded, saying that Canada has failed the U.S. by not fixing the border issues and trade deficit. And he added that if Trudeau's country can't survive unless it's ripping off the U.S., then Canada should become the 51st state with Trudeau as governor. The U.S. trade deficit with Canada was around $80 billion last year and is largely related to crude oil. Last year, the U.S. imported more than 1.6 billion barrels from Canada, and about 60% of U.S. crude oil imports are from Canada. And finally, the Democratic-led Senate and Republican-controlled House face a December 20th deadline to prevent a government shutdown. Congress is preparing a short-term continuing resolution to push the funding deadline into March of 2025, which risks consuming more time needed for confirming Trump's nominees and advancing policy goals, including the tax cuts and border security bills. Congress is also facing a January 1st deadline to raise the federal government debt ceiling. The new Congress will be sworn in on January 3rd.
That's all for now. You can find the links and sources for all of these stories on the main website. And as always, visit whatthefjusthappenedtoday.com for the latest news and headlines. Until next time, I'm Joe Amditis.